Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at VECHAIN. Before we jump into the analysis, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button? Or if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, you may as well subscribe. Turn on that bell notification so you never miss a video. Also, leave us some feedback down below. Okay, so let's get into the price action here. So I'm still looking at the potential within this structure here that we are forming a bigger diagonal pattern. So my thinking now is, because we've come down with this wave 3 past the length of wave 1, it is still possible that we could actually see this as a potential 1, 2, 3, and 4. But this pattern would have to be an expanding diagonal now, because this wave 3 would have gone longer than this wave 1. So this is what I'm still looking out for. So effectively what this means is that we're looking for the potential to have an ABC to the upside. The invalidation of this diagonal pattern would come by crossing back above this 02846. So if we do move back above this 02846, then effectively this would invalidate the structure. And what we'd then be looking at is a different structure within this move, and we'd have to revisit the counts. If we do move back across this wave 2 here, it would invalidate this potential as an impulse, and we would have to look at it potentially as a corrective structure, where this would be an A, B, and C, or we could have actually completed into this low. So that would be sort of the first confirmation. I'd want to see a move back above this 0.337 for to be a final confirmation, though it doesn't mean that we can't retrace from that point. We'd have to see how the structure plays out. So I'm going to just turn off this diagonal for a second, and we're going to come down here into the smaller time frames. So within these smaller time frames, basically off of this low point here at this 0.1551533, there's a couple of ways we can look at this move. So we can look at this move potentially as having an extension. So this is looking at this structure as a 5-wave move. So within here, what we would have is, in this move here, this would be our wave 1, then we'd have this as a wave 2, then we'd have an additional 1, 2, 3 up into this high, and then potentially looking for this as a 4th wave correction. So we've landed within this typical 4th wave box, which we can see here, which is indicated by this by these price tags, and now we're starting to move up. So there's a few things that we need to just say within this. Basically, what I wanted to see for confirmation of this is I want to see this high point get taken out. We move above this high point, then my next target zone would be this area here. So that would be this 0.2336 to this 0.22141. So this would be where I'd be looking at for us to break out and move up into this zone. So this is just a typical zone that we could look to actually target out here. So that would be the zone that we're looking for. And then from there, what I'd be looking for is to see whether we have an additional 4th wave to the downside. So this 4th wave, if we move into this box, would actually come down here to this zone here, which is this 0.2091 to this 0.1894. This would then indicate to me that we would have another push to the upside. And depending exactly where this would lie, basically we would sort of narrate how high this would go from there. If we went into this zone, for instance, it would be potentially looking to move up to this 0.25 area, and well, that would be the higher range, and then it would be between there and this 2.366. So that would be a zone we could look to actually play out to. So this is valid for as long as we stay above this high point of this 0.1672. Actually, this would be the first invalidation, this 0.1835. But basically, what I wouldn't want to see, I wouldn't want to see us really lose this low that we've currently set here. I'd want to see this move up. So first warning sign that this is not taking place would actually be breaking this 0.1955. But for as long as we hold that, we can potentially look for some bullish structure here. And we'd have to say that we'd have this as potentially as a 1, 2. And then we'd have to look at this. It's a bit overlapping, so it could be starting to extend. What I'd want to see if this is extending is basically to see a move here above this 0.2116. If we do move above that point, then we can argue that what we have here is within this structure. We could look at this potentially as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. And if that is the case, then we'd have to look at an additional 1, 2, and then looking for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and then that would basically look to take us up into this zone. So within this structure, moving down past this low point here of 01976 would effectively invalidate the structure. So we need to be careful though, because there is a potential that this could just be a corrective move to the upside, and potentially we could just count this as A, B, and C. So we move past this 1-to-1. So we need to see how we progress. If we can't, potential areas of rejection could be this 02083 and this 02096. That could be a zone we actually look to get a rejection off of and then look to break down. So we need to just bear in mind that we do have a potential this is completed, yes, so we'll go over that shortly. But for this, what we want to see is this move up past this 02117. If we do move past that, then basically what I'd be looking for is these additional legs up here, and I would be looking to take out this high point here. Okay, so that is basically the bullish potential that we have within this move. And now we're going to go over the other potential, which is actually that we have no extension here and we are potentially completed. So within this structure, now we'd be looking at this slightly different. And I'm actually going to leave that line there. And what we could be then looking at is if we look at this move slightly different, we'd have this as a 1, 2, 3, and then we've got an extension within this fifth wave. So this fifth wave could potentially end here or here. It's possible that also, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we'd have to look at it from there. So if we're looking at it from this point, and we're looking at this extension like this, what we would then be looking for is the fact that we actually have this as a 5-wave move here. So this 5-wave move here could then be the start of a move to the downside. So what we'd want to see here, the thing is we have actually come up past this point already. So it can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because we've actually crossed this unless it becomes a diagonal pattern. But this wave 3 is longer, so then it would mean that our fifth wave has to extend. So it's not looking very likely. At the moment, it just looks like a zigzag. So basically what we then look at is this is an A, a B, and a C to the downside, and then we'd be looking to see how we react in this zone. If this is going to look to break down further, what I would be looking for initially would be to see how we react. So we've already passed that 50% zone, and what we'd be looking for is potentially this 0.618 as a rejection zone. So I'm just going to mark that up, and then I'm going to just pull this up to the top of the box as well. So some other areas that you can see on the left hand side here is the 702, the 786, and the 854. That would be the highest we really want to go, is this top one here. But I mean, really, once we cross the 702 over there, effectively it starts to get less likely that we are in a B wave here. But if we're looking for a corrective structure within this, basically what we'd be looking for, so the whole idea is that if we've completed this move to the upside here, what we'd be looking for is this retracement. So if we're looking for this deeper retracement here, we'd want to see this move into this zone and then look for that push back to the upside. So this would be both, so this option is the same for the bullish potential, so arguing that we've completed into this low. The difference is that what we want to see here is if we were looking at this and the bullish potential that this is the bottom, we want to see this retest here, and then actually this wave would start to get some legs to it and really start going. That's what we'd want to see for confirmation. However, for as long as it just forms a zigzag here, or if this move does break down and take this low, then we lose all bullish potential out of this structure. So we just got to bear that in mind within this move. If we do move back down here, this would be a good zone to potentially look to take advantage of this C wave to the upside. Obviously not at financial advice, but it is something that we could be looking potentially as a good entry point if you're looking to ride the C wave should it play out. Obviously it depends how the structure to the downside plays out, but when we get a bit more structure within this, then we'll have a bit more information and sort of look at how the moves have formed. But within this move, effectively what we could be looking for if we are going to reject down is that we could actually look to push down within this move. And so this could just be an ABC, which is just a 3-wave move. So it wouldn't be enough, in my opinion, to correct this whole thing. So if it is completed and we're going to be looking for a deeper move here, I would say that we would need more downside to come, because the move up has been quite aggressive. So we would need to actually have a deeper retracement to sort of to digest this move, for the market to digest that move. So basically what we'd be then looking for is the potential that we could actually see this as a as an A wave down here, up into here, and then potentially a 1-to-1 would actually take us here to this 1873. Though if this extends slightly, potentially we could come down towards this 1825, this 1796, and finally we wouldn't really want to cross this this 1750. What we would have to be careful though within this move is if we do move down. So if we do come down here, we move up and we get rejected. What we would have to be careful of is the fact that if we have a look at this move here, and I can get it onto this high point, down into this low. Let's go up to that 618 because that looks like an interesting zone. If we do move past the 1759 from this 0.618, then we'd have to look at this as the beginning of a move to the downside, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then we'd have an additional 4th and a 5th. So the thing is, if we get 2 5-wave moves back to back like this, especially with having the additional 4th and 5th here, it is more likely that actually this has been a end of a corrective move, and we're actually going to look to break down. So if we get something like this and it moves much deeper and it's much more aggressive, then it could be an early indication that we're actually going to start to break down, lose this low, and actually push down for another leg here. So we just need to be careful of that fact. However, for the time being, I'm expecting either that 5th wave to play out or potentially us to move down into this box as an ABC. So this move as a corrective pattern that we've got marked out here as an A, a B, and a C would sort of the point that I would be looking for in validation is moving above this 2183, but though it doesn't really mean that it's invalidated, because sometimes we can get a flat correction which we break this high point and then break down again. So we'd have to wait and see sort of what the structure is doing, but we are starting to get a little bit of momentum moving into this, so it'll be interesting to see whether we can actually continue this up. And like I said, that we look at this as a 1-2, we come up and cross this 02117. If we do cross that 02117, then it means that we've got some further extension within this, and I would be assuming that we're going to take these highs over here. Obviously, there's no confirmation until we get up here, so we need to just wait for those 4th wave retracements and then the additional 5ths to the upside. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what we're looking for. It all relies really on what happens within this, whether we've completed the 5-wave move here or we've got this additional leg up in the 5th wave. What's going to be really important is what happens on the retracement from this 5-wave move. If we find support here, then we could potentially see an additional push to the upside. However, should we fail to hold this zone, then effectively we are going to be looking for some continuation to the downside, and then we would assume that we're going to be pushing down for those additional legs that we talked about in the previous video with the diagonal option. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone found the video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not let us know what your opinion is. Do you think that the market has set a bottom and that we're actually starting a new bull market? Always happy to hear from you guys. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there, everybody.